Have you stopped to reflect on what's stealing your peace, often without you realizing it? In 2025, it's the perfect time to make a significant change in your life by eliminating things you think are essential, but that are actually hindering your personal growth. Unrealistic expectations, toxic people, and the constant search for validation are just a few obstacles you need to remove now. If you're tired of carrying unnecessary burdens, stay with me because I'm going to show you the 11 things you should eliminate to live more fully in the upcoming year. Are you ready to see things differently? Strengthening the mind is essential to dealing with life's challenges. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that our thoughts are the foundation of our mental stability, influencing everything around us. Self-control is the key to deciding what enters our mind and what deserves our attention. Instead of being swayed by external pressures, it's important to learn how to filter what we consume. For example, if office gossip or comparisons with others start disturbing your peace, focus on what you can control, your own thoughts. By mastering your thoughts, everything else becomes irrelevant. One crucial aspect of achieving inner peace is cultivating the right mindset. This creates an environment where the external world has no power to destabilize us. Imagine a tense situation where someone tries to provoke you, expecting an immediate reaction. Instead of reacting impulsively, you choose to respond calmly, valuing resilience over emotional outbursts. This doesn't mean being indifferent, but demonstrating that self-control is a priority. When you choose how to respond, you begin to understand the true meaning of mental health. Thoughts can become an obstacle when we don't control them. How often have you found yourself thinking about goals that don't make sense or about things that only exist to impress others? The search for external validation is a trap, but true peace comes when we focus on what really matters. Small daily steps away from the need for approval can make a big difference. True authenticity comes from focusing on what truly matters to you. By concentrating on what you believe in, your goals begin to naturally align. Strengthening the mind also involves being prepared for the failures that arise along the way. Expecting everything to be perfect is one of the main causes of frustration and toxic comparison. Marcus Aurelius didn't expect a flawless life. He knew the real world is imperfect. When you accept that making mistakes is part of the learning process, you realize that it's through failures that the greatest opportunities for growth arise. Each challenge faced with wisdom contributes to the strengthening of a resilient mindset, ready to learn from every situation. This process is ongoing and requires practice. Change doesn't happen overnight, but over time, you'll see that your mindset becomes your greatest asset. Every time you choose inner peace over reacting to external stimuli, you strengthen yourself. This strengthening opens doors to new lessons, such as the understanding that it's necessary to free yourself from relationships that no longer serve you. At times, maintaining inner peace means distancing yourself from certain relationships. It's not an easy decision, but there are occasions when stepping away from toxic bonds is essential to preserve your mental health. Imagine constantly trying to justify your actions to someone who's never willing to listen. These relationships drain your energy and compromise your authenticity. By prioritizing your peace, you create space for your own growth and self-control. As Marcus Aurelius said, we shouldn't waste time trying to convince those who aren't willing to change. Moving on is more than a choice, it's a demonstration of resilience. How many times have you seen someone stay in a relationship that only generated comparison and pressure? It's an endless cycle of seeking external validation. By distancing yourself, you're actually making room for a new beginning. An opportunity to build healthier, more meaningful relationships. This process of liberation is more than simply cutting ties. It's about cultivating self-respect. For example, when ending a friendship that no longer makes sense, you don't have to justify your decision. Sometimes, silence is the best answer. Keeping the details of these aspects of your life private is a sign of strength and self-control. We don't always need to expose everything we're going through. Some situations gain more value when kept secret. This is also a form of peace, the kind that comes without the need for external approval or explanations. Letting go of toxic relationships, an exercise in accepting human imperfection. Freeing yourself from toxic relationships is also an exercise in accepting human imperfection. No relationship will ever be perfect, but some cross the line of what is healthy and become destructive. When a relationship is marked by gossip or unrealistic expectations, it's a clear sign that the cycle has come to an end. Sometimes, the decision to step away from a relationship is the greatest gift you can give yourself. By making this choice, you strengthen your mental health and create space for more genuine connections. Every step toward inner peace is a reminder that you are the only one responsible for your journey. Once you decide which relationships to cultivate, you realize that even the greatest challenges can be transformed into opportunities for growth. By distancing yourself from bonds that don't add value, you pave the way for setting goals that truly reflect who you are and what you want out of life. Goals are important, but when created without genuine purpose, they become burdens we carry unnecessarily. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that life is too short to waste energy on objectives that don't bring true fulfillment. How many times have you found yourself chasing something just because others around you seem to value it? This relentless search for validation only leads to burnout and frustration. The key here is to avoid goals that aren't connected to your true essence, rather than being guided by the opinions of others. When you let go of unnecessary goals, you create more space for what truly matters. Too often, people seek status, positions, or buy expensive things just to impress others. But what does that really add to your life? Instead, why not reevaluate your goals and focus your energy on what truly contributes to your personal growth and inner peace? It's about prioritizing what holds value and letting go of what merely occupies mental and emotional space. Setting meaningful goals requires self-awareness and authenticity. It's pointless to invest time and effort in a goal that doesn't make sense to you. A good practice is to regularly take time to review your goals and ask yourself whether they are truly yours, or if they were influenced by comparisons with others. This exercise in honesty with yourself is crucial for understanding what deserves your attention and effort, allowing you to set aside goals that don't contribute to your development. Moreover, some goals may arise as a way to avoid the present. Have you noticed people who are always chasing a new goal, as if achieving something is the only way they feel they are progressing? The problem is that this can create a cycle of unnecessary goals, where the focus is on anything but enjoying the present moment. When we free ourselves from these goals, we make room to truly appreciate the here and now. We come to understand that inner peace doesn't come from the constant pursuit of new objectives, but from acceptance, resilience, and self-control. By choosing your goals more consciously, you build a life with less pressure and unrealistic expectations. This process often requires courage to disappoint others, but it is also an opportunity to validate yourself. Each goal you leave behind, if it is not essential, opens the door to a lighter, more authentic life. By simplifying your journey, you can focus on what really matters, including in your most important relationships. Privacy becomes a valuable asset in times of constant exposure. When a relationship ends, it's natural to want to explain or justify what happened. However, doing so often fuels unnecessary conversations and exposes vulnerabilities. Marcus Aurelius taught us that silence can be a great strength. Keeping certain matters to yourself, especially when they involve other people, is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it's an act of self-control and respect. Protecting your privacy helps to avoid gossip and preserves your mental health, allowing you to move forward with greater peace of mind. Every person we interact with leaves a mark on our lives. By keeping the intimate details of a relationship that has ended out of the public eye, you are, in fact, respecting the space that person occupied in your history. There is great maturity in understanding that the end of a relationship does not mean everything lived within it must be exposed or forgotten. Instead of clinging to the past, value what was good, learn from what went wrong, and move forward. This behavior fosters inner peace and personal growth, opening doors to new experiences. Moreover, keeping certain details to yourself allows for deeper, more genuine reflection. Imagine the pressure of having to justify every choice or decision to people who weren't truly involved. That's unnecessary weight. By choosing to remain reserved, you strengthen your resilience, as you learn to process your emotions privately, without seeking external validation. Self-control, building strength and independence through emotional mastery. This self-control helps build a stronger, more independent character that doesn't rely on others' approval to validate your decisions. Another important aspect is preserving your dignity. Avoiding discussions about an ex-relationship, even if it was marked by conflict, shows that you have moved beyond the need to compare or belittle the other person. This mindset reflects true maturity. Rather than engaging in gossip or seeking approval, you choose to protect your inner peace. Often, silence speaks volumes about your authenticity and personal strength than any explanation ever could. Choosing to preserve your privacy, then, is choosing the freedom to be at peace with yourself. By learning to protect what truly matters to you, you create space to build new relationships more consciously, without carrying the burdens of the past. This approach also helps you become more selective, understanding that what is valuable doesn't need to be exposed to everyone. There is great power in connecting with your true essence before seeking new connections. This leads us to a higher level of self-control and serenity. Controlling your emotions is a powerful skill few master, but it brings immense benefits to your well-being and inner peace. In moments of stress, the initial reaction might be anger or frustration, but Marcus Aurelius teaches us that it is possible to respond with calmness. Imagine a situation where someone tries to provoke you with harsh words. Instead of reacting impulsively and matching their tone, take a deep breath and try to see the situation more rationally. This self-control is what distinguishes a strong mind from a disorganized one. True wisdom lies in turning frustration into an opportunity for personal growth. Every difficult situation is a chance to strengthen resilience. When someone disrespects or provokes you, they will only have power over you if you allow it. Controlling emotions doesn't mean ignoring how you feel but choosing how to respond. In a challenging work environment, for example, instead of reacting impulsively, you can use the situation to demonstrate your maturity, stay focused, and become a role model for others around you. Emotional control is also crucial in relationships, as it enables you to communicate more effectively and build healthier connections. The power of calm. Building stronger relationships through self-control. How many times has a word spoken in the heat of anger caused damage that was difficult to undo? By responding calmly, you avoid regret and allow respect to prevail. Imagine the positive impact in a family discussion where, instead of escalating the conflict, you maintain serenity, focusing on solutions rather than problems. This constant exercise of self-control brings peace and, over time, becomes a habit that strengthens the relationships around you. Mastering your emotions also protects you from unhealthy comparisons. When we don't control our feelings, we can easily be swept away by envy or frustration when observing others' success. However, by maintaining self-control, we can focus on what truly matters to our personal growth, instead of wasting time and energy comparing ourselves to others. This helps us cultivate authenticity, as we begin to appreciate what we have and who we are, regardless of others' achievements. Learning to control your emotions, therefore, is an exercise in freedom. Each time you choose to respond with serenity, you are reaffirming your autonomy and becoming less dependent on external circumstances to feel good about yourself. This self-control prepares us for the next step, abandoning the habit of comparing ourselves to others. Recognizing that each person's journey is unique and that true inner peace comes from respecting your own pace and essence is key. Constant comparison is one of the greatest thieves of happiness. When we measure our lives against others, we lose sight of the value of our own journey. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that every individual has their own nature and purpose. It's easy to fall into the temptation of wanting what others have or to achieve the same milestones they've reached, but this pursuit is empty. True inner peace emerges when you learn to value your own path and stop seeking external validation. There's no need to chase goals that don't make sense for you. Comparison with others also leads to unrealistic expectations, creating unnecessary pressure that harms mental health. Think how much lighter it would feel to focus on your own growth without worrying about reaching the same goals as others. When you embrace authenticity and recognize your own accomplishments, your self-esteem grows stronger. What matters is not whether someone around you appears more successful, but your own progress. Accepting your journey is an important step toward living a fuller life. Every person faces battles you may not see, and others' success may only be the visible part of a much larger story. By looking at your life realistically, you realize that you are exactly where you need to be for your learning and evolution. Instead of spending energy observing others' paths, focus on what you can do today to become a better version of yourself. A good practice is to set simple, achievable goals aligned with your abilities, helping you keep your focus on your own growth rather than on others. Avoiding comparisons also promotes healthier relationships. When we don't feel envy or competition, we're more open to supporting and celebrating others' achievements. Authenticity in relationships comes from accepting our own value, which strengthens bonds in a genuine and resentment-free way. Whether in work, family, or among friends, there's no need to measure yourself based on others' accomplishments. Each story is unique and deserves to be lived on its own terms. By letting go of comparison, you open doors to deep and lasting peace. This practice helps you focus on what truly matters and strengthens your resilience to handle life's challenges. Over time, you realize that joy comes from embracing your own journey, without being distracted by the paths of others. This focus is particularly important when it comes to social media, where comparisons are often amplified. Social media can be both an ally and a villain in the pursuit of emotional balance. While it offers connections and access to information, Marcus Aurelius would remind us of the importance of maintaining self-control when using these platforms. When used excessively, social media can become a stage for comparison and the search for external validation, draining our inner peace. How about setting clear boundaries for using these platforms? For instance, you could establish fixed times to check social media, avoiding the need to be constantly connected. This helps you maintain focus on what truly matters. Another good practice is to periodically cleanse the people and content you follow. If your timeline is filled with posts that cause anxiety or comparison, it might be time to reconsider those connections. Keep only what contributes to your personal growth, such as profiles and pages that promote authenticity, mental health, and development. Reducing exposure to toxic content can be an important step toward a more balanced and peaceful life. Remember, you have the power to choose what you consume. The way we interact on social media also reveals our emotional maturity. Avoid posting for validation or engaging in unproductive arguments that only drain your energy. Instead, share what genuinely uplifts you and resist the urge to justify your choices to others. Practicing this kind of self-control strengthens resilience and helps you understand that true peace does not depend on likes or comments. Managing the time and manner in which we use social media is also crucial for mental health. Spending hours scrolling through your feed, consuming content without purpose, can lead to mental exhaustion. By limiting this habit, you make room for activities that truly promote well-being, such as reading, exercising, or dedicating time to a hobby. Investing in your personal growth is, in fact, an investment in your authenticity and inner peace. Ultimately, adopting a more mindful use of social media makes you less dependent on the approval of others and more focused on your own path. This practice frees you from the need for external validation, allowing you to use social media productively as a tool, not as a source of comparison or stress. By consciously controlling your social media use, you take a significant step toward seeking your own approval, without relying on digital recognition. Living for others' validation is a never-ending task that never brings true satisfaction. Marcus Aurelius would teach us that true inner peace comes from knowing who we are without needing the approval of others. This is a modern challenge, as often every achievement seems to require an audience to be validated. But is it worth shaping your actions solely to please others? When you break free from this need, you begin to act more authentically, focusing on what truly contributes to your personal growth, instead of trying to meet expectations that are not your own. Seeking external approval is a trap that leads us to adopt goals and responsibilities that do not reflect who we truly are. Consider someone who chooses a career not because they are passionate about it, but because others believe it's the best option. This kind of decision creates emptiness, as it lacks a genuine connection with one's own desires and values. The key is to constantly ask yourself, am I doing this for me or to please others? When you make decisions based on your own truth, you build a life that has meaning for you. The freedom to live without the need for external validation is immense. Imagine the peace of making an important decision without feeling the need to justify or share it with others. This self-control allows you to focus more clearly on your goals, without distractions. For example, when deciding to change jobs, start a new project, or even end a relationship, do it for yourself. This strengthens your resilience and confidence that you are in control of your own life. This process also directly impacts your mental health. The constant pressure to please others creates exhaustion and feeds comparison. When you focus on what you truly want and what matters to you, you find peace that is not dependent on others' opinions. This step is crucial for anyone seeking authenticity. By living according to your own principles, you free yourself from the fear of disappointing others or failing to meet external expectations. Over time, you will realize that living authentically attracts people who genuinely value who you are. Letting go of the need for external validation is a gradual process, but each step brings a sense of lightness. As you take control of your life without relying on approval, you build true and solid confidence. Now is the time to accept your imperfections and understand that you don't need to be perfect to be happy. The pursuit of authenticity is what makes life richer and more fulfilling. Along the way, you will also learn that being imperfect is part of the human experience. Embracing imperfection is liberating. Marcus Aurelius understood that the pursuit of perfection is often a never-ending battle, leading to frustration. In a world where social media shows us seemingly perfect lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we need to conform to these standards. However, by accepting our flaws and vulnerabilities, we find true inner peace. Every mistake we make is an opportunity to learn and grow. Instead of criticizing ourselves harshly, we can use these moments to practice self-control and self-compassion. When we accept imperfection, we take an important step toward authenticity. Imagine someone who spends hours perfecting a project or revising a task in search of something unattainable. This behavior drains unnecessary mental and emotional energy. Perfectionism often hinders personal growth. Instead of striving for perfection, why not focus on progress? Every small step forward is a victory. The journey isn't about being perfect, it's about improving continuously with resilience and ease. Accepting flaws and limitations also paves the way for healthier relationships. When we understand that everyone is imperfect, we become more compassionate toward others and less prone to comparisons. This allows us to form more genuine connections, without the need to appear perfect, something no one truly is. This acceptance brings a deep peace that doesn't need validation from anyone, it simply exists. This serenity creates an environment where both you and others can be authentic. Accepting imperfection also has a positive impact on mental health. When we realize that mistakes are part of the human experience, we stop mentally punishing ourselves for every failure. This acceptance alleviates internal pressure, making room for personal growth and the strengthening of resilience. True strength comes from recognizing that we are fallible, yet every challenge offers an opportunity for evolution. Rather than avoiding difficulties, we can view them as learning opportunities. The process of self-acceptance is essential for a fuller life, free from unrealistic expectations. Each time you remember that perfection is not the goal, you find more lightness in moving forward. This recognition prepares us for the next step. Free yourself once and for all from unrealistic expectations, for it is by releasing these illusions that you find true authenticity and inner peace. Accepting that life is made of ups and downs strengthens us to face whatever comes. Unrealistic expectations are like mirages. They look appealing from a distance but disappear when we try to reach them. Marcus Aurelius understood that creating expectations not grounded in reality only takes us further from inner peace. When we idealize life or the people around us, we set ourselves up for disappointment. It's crucial to stay focused on what we can control and adjust our expectations to align with what truly makes sense for us. This often requires letting go of goals that don't serve us or align with who we really are. Unrealistic expectations deeply affect our mental health. When we pressure ourselves to meet unattainable standards, we are sabotaging our own well-being. Imagine someone who expects perfection in every area of life: a marriage without conflict, a career always on the rise, a flawless routine. This constant pressure creates dissatisfaction. Instead of living in pursuit of these standards, set realistic expectations that align with your reality and pace. Allow yourself to evolve authentically, without comparisons. Freeing yourself from unrealistic expectations also improves the quality of relationships. When you stop expecting others to fit your ideals, you create space to accept them as they truly are, with their flaws and qualities. This fosters a more genuine and healthy connection. As we continue the journey of self-discovery and improvement, Stoicism offers valuable tools to enhance our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. In 2025, it may be time to evaluate what often holds us back and prevents us from living fully and authentically. By eliminating behaviors and patterns that do not serve our growth, we create the space needed to cultivate a more focused, peaceful life that aligns with our values. Here are 15 things you should eliminate from your life in the new year, inspired by Stoic teachings. 1. The need for external approval. Stoicism teaches us to live according to our own principles, without relying on others' approval. Free yourself from the pressure to please and live authentically, focusing on what matters to you, not what others expect from you. 2. The pursuit of perfection. As Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers remind us, the relentless pursuit of perfection is a constant source of frustration. Accepting our imperfections frees us from the pressure to be perfect and allows us to grow through our mistakes. 3. Constant comparison with others. Comparison is a trap that undermines our self-esteem and distracts us from our own path. Eliminate the habit of measuring your life by the achievements of others and focus on your own progress and journey. 4. Unrealistic expectations. Creating expectations that are not grounded in reality only leads to disappointment. Learn to adjust your expectations so that they reflect your reality and inner truth, rather than clinging to unattainable standards. 5. Being stuck in the past. The past is gone, and while we can learn from it, getting stuck in its memories and regrets prevents us from moving forward. Practice detachment from the past and focus on living in the present with wisdom and purpose. 6. Fear of failure. The fear of failure is one of the main barriers to personal growth. Stoicism teaches us to see failure as an opportunity for learning. By eliminating the fear of making mistakes, you can act with more confidence and courage. 7. Blaming others for your challenges. Taking responsibility for our choices is a key Stoic principle. Blaming others for our difficulties only prevents us from growing. Instead, seek solutions and learn from each situation without externalizing the blame. 8. Doing things just to impress others. We often do things just to create an image or impress others. This behavior is a form of emotional slavery, as we are constantly trying to meet external expectations. Eliminate the need to impress and focus on acting according to your own values. 9. Cultivating toxic relationships. Maintaining relationships that drain our emotional energy and do not respect us is a major obstacle to inner peace. Eliminate these relationships and surround yourself with people who genuinely contribute to your life, who are authentic and respectful. 10. Procrastination. Procrastination is a way of avoiding action and progress. Eliminating this habit means making quicker decisions and acting with more determination, knowing that time is a precious and finite resource. 11. Attachment to status and materialism. Attachment to material possessions or the constant pursuit of status can lead to existential emptiness. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness comes from within, from peace with our own conscience, and not from owning external things. 12. Escaping solitude. We often avoid moments of solitude because we fear facing our own thoughts. However, solitude is an opportunity for introspection, self-knowledge, and reflection. Eliminate the fear of being alone and learn to enjoy your own company. 13. The pressure to always be busy. We live in a society that values productivity and being busy as synonymous with success. However, this often takes us away from what truly matters. Eliminate the habit of overloading yourself and learn to balance work and rest to promote your mental and physical health. 14. Dependence on digital validation. Social media, while a powerful tool for connection, can also be a source of anxiety in constant validation seeking. Eliminate the dependence on likes, followers, and comments, and use social media more consciously and in balance. 15. Living for imposed goals. Finally, we often fixate on goals that are not our own, simply because society or family expects them. Instead of following a path laid out by others, eliminate imposed goals and begin setting your own aspirations, aligned with your values and personal desires. Eliminating these 15 things from your life in 2025 is an exercise in freedom and self-knowledge. By following Stoic principles, you begin to free yourself from external influences and live more authentically, without the constraints of unrealistic expectations or social standards that do not align with what you truly value. By adopting a mindset of detachment, you not only find more inner peace but also create space for continuous growth. True happiness and inner peace come from within and are cultivated when we learn to live according to our own principles, without the need for external validation. By eliminating what does not serve your evolution, you create a richer, fuller, and more balanced life. In 2025, may you take a firm step toward emotional freedom, self-awareness, and personal growth. By embracing Stoic teachings, you not only transform your life but also become a source of inspiration and authenticity for those around you.